It's Red Eye Radio. Gary McNamara and Eric Harley talk about everything from politics to social issues and news of the day. Whether you're up late or you're just starting your day, welcome to the show. From the Uniden America Studios, this is Red Eye Radio.
All across America. We are Red Eye Radio. He is Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. Today is the anniversary of our professional marriage, 20 years.
Yeah.
July 15th, 2005.
Uh-huh. It's,
I hadn't built my house yet.
no, you hadn't. No.
And
Crazy.
the result of it is we're 20 years older.
Yeah.
And we're 20 years older, and we've done 22,500 hours of shows together.
That's crazy. That is crazy.
That's a lot of hours.
That's a lot of hours. Yeah.
So I guess
Now I need a nap.
I guesstimate you and I've done 4,500 to roughly 4,600 shows.
Wow.
So yeah.
Yeah.
And in my career, and I did that a couple of weeks ago when I was thinking about our 20th anniversary. But how many shows have I done? You know, because you really don't think. You're just busy doing the show every day. You never think about, how many have I done? Roughly 10,500 radio shows I've done professionally. I don't count college or volunteer. Commercial radio, roughly 10,500.
All right.
And I guesstimate, because at one point I was doing two shows, you know, one point in my life for like a 4-year period. But I'm guessing I'm around a little bit over 45,000 hours on the radio.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I figured mine to be somewhere around 45, 50,000 hours. Isn't that crazy?
That's a lot of hours.
Yeah, it is.
If I had to think about it back in the beginning, Gary, you're day one in radio. Just remember, someday you'll be at the point of doing over 45,000 hours and over 10,000 shows. You're out of your mind.
I wonder if I went back to the 18-year-old me that was brand new to radio, and I said, okay, let's fast forward to 2025. First of all, the 18-year-old me would have said, am I going to actually live that long? And then it's, okay, here's what you've done between now and 2025. One of the first questions would be, so I never really wanted to get a real job. You're saying I didn't do anything else? Nah, you made some extra money here and there on doing a couple of other things. Got a couple of business ventures with your wife that worked out okay. But as a career, this is it. Are you sure? You sure? Because I said often, I do, because we have this great opportunity to do this for a living, it does feel like I do still today. I'll be 60 my next birthday. I still feel like someone's going to walk in going, okay, you know what? It's time to go get a real job. This is over. This little charade is over. It's almost like because we're here in the middle of the night, it's almost like we sneak into this building that nobody is using, and we sit down, and it's like, whoa. What are you guys doing here, and where's Doug? You know, it's just, I really feel that way at times because I enjoy it so much. And that's not an exaggeration. There are times, I told my wife the other day, last Thursday, get off the air at 5 a.m. Around 6:45, I start doing light lawn work, and then I'm mowing by about 7:15. And I'm out there in the lawn probably until about 9:30-ish. And then I go in, get cleaned up, put everything up. And I sit down to do show prep. And the moment I sit down to do show prep, I started feeling lazy. Like, this isn't really working. Because this isn't working. This isn't a job. Is this really a job? And that's what I think the 18-year-old would say. Look, I've watched, that 18-year-old would say, look, I've watched my dad, work really, really hard in the military, after his military career. That's work. You're telling me are you saying I'll be able to eat? Are you saying I'll be able to pay my bills doing this? It would really probably shock the 18-year-old me. Because at some point, actually at one point, I was going to go into law enforcement. But I didn't trust my hearing deficiency, because if you don't hear it right, if you don't get it right out there as a law enforcement officer, then somebody could get hurt or worse. And I wasn't going to have that. But then I found, not long after that, I found this job. And it was like, oh, this changes everything. And then it just kind of, next thing you know, in 2005, you and I start working together, and here we are. And today, it still feels fresh every single day.
I will tell you this. If I hadn't come on this show, I probably would have retired.
Yeah.
By now.
Yeah, I would have been out of it one way or the other. I wouldn't have been doing this.
Yeah, sure. If I hadn't found this, I would have been out.
Right.
And the reason I say that is because I'm having so much fun.
Yeah.
And to get inside of it, people, why do you do it? And we had this conversation. I mentioned this earlier in the show, but for people just waking up, you would ask me that, why do you want to continue? And I just said, we were walking out, and I just said, because of this. And we're walking out. When we walk out of the show, at 5 to 5, and we're walking out to the parking lot, all we're doing is laughing. We're just laughing about everything and having a conversation or making a point right up to getting into our vehicles. And the reason I've stayed this long and the reason I have no retirement plans, I turned 70 this year, is because I'm having too much fun. It's that simple.
Yeah.
I'm having too much fun.
Yeah.
Because I get that from people all the time. Why are you staying? It's too much fun. And I know it's interesting because they go, yeah, but all you do, I've heard your show, all you do is talk about the problems and challenges in our society. And I'm like, well, stand-up comedians do the same thing. They just make a joke out of it in a different way than we do. They may analyze it, maybe not always in a correct way or the most accurate way that we would like to do it. Mm-hmm. But everybody in some way, if you're stand-up comedy, talk shows, if you're in the media, you're always talking about the problems of the day.
Right.
That never stops.
Right.
And even if you're in music, radio, or entertainment, you're still talking about the challenges that human beings have, because human life is how to handle problems, whether they're personal, professional, government, society. But it's just so much fun. And I will say that I really never had many thoughts throughout the business. When Jerry Seinfeld, when I saw him saying this about a year ago, when I saw him say, when I first got into it, I just said, I want to do this. And I don't care as long as I can put a roof over my head and have food.
Yeah.
I don't care if I can get that, this is what I want to do. And when he said that, I went, that's me.
Yeah.
That was me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, granted, it's gone a lot further than that. But I really never thought about anything. So busy doing a show every single day. It never hit me that, you actually have fewer years left than the years you've already worked. That never even hit me until I had to apply for Medicaid back a few years ago.
Well, that didn't hit me until you just said it. Thanks a lot.
Well,
I actually didn't consider that until just now.
Yeah, when I had to
41 years for me. And I could live another 41 years. I don't have that much left in my career. I'll tell you this, I won't be 101 doing radio. I can almost guarantee that.
And I won't be 110 working with you. But that's when I went, whoa, you got to apply for Medicaid. Excuse me, Medicaid. Did I say Medicaid?
Medicare.
Good God. I sound like Joy Behar now. I don't know the damn difference. Medicare.
Yes.
We've been talking so much about Medicaid lately, but when I had applied for Medicare at 65, and then it hit me again about 2 months ago when I had to apply for Social Security. I'm not collecting till I'm 70. And then the other day, about, was it last Thursday or Friday, when I got the acceptance that I've been accepted and that in a couple of months I'll be collecting, Social Security. And,
right.
The money would be fine. That was the last thing I was thinking. I'm like, oh my God, I'm collecting Social Security. Otherwise, I never think of it. It's just those benchmarks.
Yeah.
See what the damn government does?
Yeah, well.
I wouldn't be thinking about any of this stuff.
Oh.
There'd be no negative thoughts going through my body and my mind, except for the stupid government. They set the benchmarks. Now I'm old.
Need to order one of those one-piece leisure suits. Short sleeve. Baby blue. Come on. I'm almost there, and I'm not quite 60.
Well, you know what gets to me is when I think of things like other benchmarks in my life. Johnny Carson was younger than me when he retired. Those are the things that make me go, oh.
Wow. Wow. Okay, then.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Wow.
But he's still on every night. You go to Antenna TV. I wake up.
Carson lives on.
It's amazing.
Yep. Or his YouTube channel, or
Yeah. Oh yeah, YouTube. Yeah, YouTube channel. But he's on Antenna TV every. It's 33.2 on my Antenna TV.
All right. Yeah.
And it's like Carson's on, and I actually love it. I'll turn it on and go, okay, what year is it?
Oh, trying to guess what year.
Trying to get what year it is.
Yeah.
What year is it?
Yeah.
They go all the way back. I think really they play most of the years.
Actually, I might enjoy that more than the YouTube thing, trying to guess, okay, when was this? That actually that would be fun.
Yeah, it's interesting to do, and then you listen to his monologue, and you're like, okay, it's got to be late 70s. I think they play mostly between like 70. Well, when they moved to L.A., which went on, I think 72,
right?
72 to what was it, 91, 92, 93 when they ended.
Yeah,
when he ended there.
Yeah, I remember where I was, the house I was in. I remember watching him sitting on that stool for the last time. He came out.
Yeah.
And he sat on a stool, basically. He didn't usually. And I remember it, yeah.
Yeah, I remember I watched the last week of shows. But when I was in college,
yeah,
you always stayed up. On the East Coast, you stayed up till 11:30.
As a kid, for me, I used to sneak because my dad would be watching it, and it was, in fact, it was 90 minutes at one point. It went all the way up until midnight Central for us. And so if I was quiet and didn't make noise, Dad would leave our bedroom door open. If my brothers, behaved and were quiet. And there were a couple things I could do. I could climb down from the bunk bed and then peek around the corner to watch whoever was going to be on. Usually a comedian, someone like Rich Little was going to, I wanted to stay up and watch Rich Little. Or I could raise the blinds in my window and watch the reflection in the glass. And I did that quite a bit.
Wow.
And I loved it.
Yeah. So thank you to the listeners that say congrats on the 20 years, hopefully another 20 years. I have no plans on retiring. I don't know if I will guarantee 20 years.
Well, I'm going to do it as long as I possibly can do it, and as long as they'll let me. Thank you to a great company. Thank you to great, great, great listeners and great, great, great sponsors who all make it happen.
Yep.
And a great production staff who makes it seamless, honestly. They really do.
Yeah.
You'd be shocked at how much they don't complain about us when they easily and justifiably could.
Tell you, though, as long as we keep having fun, right?
Yep. That's what I want to do.
866-90 Red Eye.
This morning's USDA Farm Report is brought to you by Howes Products. Tested, trusted, guaranteed since 1920.
When it comes to USDA's latest crop progress report, this news flash from USDA meteorologist Brad Rippey.
It is already mid-July. And where does the time go? And we have a crop progress report dated July 13th that has very little bad news in it across the United States.
Examples of declines, ever slight, are few, according to Rippey. One example is peanut crop condition.
Peanut condition actually dropping just a little bit from last week. We are at 70% good to excellent. Last week, that number was 75%. 5% very poor to poor. That is up 2 points from last week. So a net decrease overall in condition, but still better than last year at this time when only 60% of the crop was good to excellent and 7% was very poor to poor.
In the case of spring wheat, drought coverage has accelerated crop progress in several production states, but has also impacted crop condition. I'm Rod Bain reporting for the U.S. Department of Agriculture in Washington, D.C.
This report brought to you by Cenex Fuels and Lubes.
Lines open for your calls. 866-90 Red Eye on Red Eye Radio.
We are Red Eye Radio. He is Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. Coming up following the bottom of the hour, a couple of stories out there. Here's a headline. Democratic insider admits to praying for an economic depression as the party's popularity continues to plummet, and Democrats now are angry at Biden. They say he needs to shut up and quit taking the GOP bait, this time on the auto pen, which, by the way, him coming out with the statement and the New York Times and everything, it came out worse.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And it was funny because someone said, well, if he would have spoken up on Medicaid, oh, yeah, that would have changed it.
Oh, I'm sure.
Biden has a statement on Medicaid.
Mm-hmm.
Hold the press.
Exactly.
We need to hear from Joe.
And then his statement ends up being a question. Where's my Medicaid? I'm old enough. That's not what Medicaid is, Joe.
Joy Behar on that one. Huh?
Exactly. Yeah. It's weird because now the Democrats are basically saying what we have said for a while. That Joe Biden, while he was in office and while he was running, Joe Biden is a liability on Joe Biden. He's a liability on the party anytime he speaks.
And the other thing I got out of it was the Democrats are still going, we're spending so much time trying to figure out where we're going to go. We don't need Joe doing this. We need more time to figure out where we're going to go. Why?
Yeah, right. Why?
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 You're listening to Red Eye Radio from the Uniden America Studios.
And he is Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. Good morning. How's everybody doing? Thank you for being here this morning. Well, what do you think about this? Now, I will say there's something I do like about this, even though I have tons of questions.
Okay.
A private rail venture in Delaware has proposed a high-speed rail project that would stretch from one side of the United States to another. America Star Rail, a startup specializing in high-speed and intermodal passenger rail, pitched a partnership with Amtrak to launch the Transcontinental Chief, a high-speed rail route that would run between Los Angeles and New York in under 72 hours.
Well, I could do that.
Work on high-speed rail projects across the U.S. remains stagnant. Only a few networks are underway. We know the one going on in California, the debacle that's become. In an open letter to Roger Harris, the president of Amtrak, Ameristar Rail proposed a joint venture with the goal of making Amtrak generate a profit.
Again. MAGA, make Amtrak generate again.
The Transcontinental Chief would be a great opportunity for Amtrak to team up with the private sector to confront the challenges of its money-losing long-distance trains and create opportunities to usher in a profitable golden age of rail travel for passengers and truckers with the ingenuity of free enterprise as we celebrate our great nation's 250th birthday next year.
Okay. All right. So they're saying how long it would take? How long L.A. to New York?
Under 72 hours.
All right. So
71.9 hours.
I Googled it. And the drive, if you drove straight through, which you shouldn't do, would be 40 hours and 41 minutes. Okay. All right. Which, all right, add 2 sleep breaks. Break it up into 2 parts. And 2 8-hour sleep breaks. So you add another 16 hours. There's 58 hours.
Well,
now,
this article does not have what the article I read yesterday said to make it competitive with driving and flying.
well, it's not competitive with flying.
No.
Driving, if you don't like driving. Okay. I like a road trip. I like a good road trip. That would be one heck of a road trip. There are trains listed here starting at $1,605 one way. That would get you there 68 hours, according to Google, 68 hours and 28 minutes.
So,
already.
Well, the whole entire point is this isn't the Japanese high-speed rail.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. I don't see where it's competitive at all.
The proposed service would blend elements of Europe's truck transport trains with U.S. passenger rail operations, offering vehicle boarding for truckers and travelers along Amtrak-style accommodations and amenities. So you could board your 18-wheeler on there?
I'm thinking you'd have to
And
load
cars?
your container.
The container, yeah.
But
Ameristar Rail pitch initiative to launch by May 10th, 2026, time to coincide with the United States 250th anniversary celebrations and the World Cup. The startup, which previously advocated for upgrading Amtrak's Northeast Corridor with private investments, said the new long-distance service could be launched without additional federal spending or congressional action thanks to private investment. The plan includes major stops at Harrisburg, Chicago, and the Grand Canyon before reaching Los Angeles. The new route would replace Amtrak's Southwest Chief and Pennsylvania lines and rely on existing infrastructure from host rails, including BNSF, New Jersey Transit, and more. Unlike past rail startups that have required federal funding, America Star Rail said its model is entirely privately funded. The company has presented the proposal to Trump and the members of Congress and the Treasury Secretary. A spokesperson for America Star Rail told Newsweek America Star Rail's proposal to turn Amtrak's money-losing long-distance trains into profit makers has also been shared with President Trump, DOJ, U.S. Department of Transportation, Secretary Sean Duffy, and members of Congress. Amtrak has yet to respond to the pitch from America Star Rail and has not acted on any of the previous pitches made by the company.
Yeah, I would have a lot of questions
I have a ton of questions.
for Ameristar Rail. I don't.
Well, do you make a profit based on the fact that you get a super cheap rate to rent the rail?
That the commercial venture on the rail, or the freight rent venture on the rail would help to mitigate the rates for passengers? Is that what you're asking?
That the federal subsidies that go to the tracks already
Oh, okay.
would make it much easier for you to make money, sort of like a...
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
okay.
sort of like a... a Freddie Mae, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac.
Yeah.
I almost said Freddie Mac and...
Yeah.
No, wait a minute.
Freddie Mae and Fannie
Freddie
Mac.
Mae and Fannie Mac. It's...
Fannie Mac is the worst side dish ever. Fannie Mac and cheese. Yeah, I don't. Yeah. Yeah.
Let me just say this. Something isn't right in that story.
We're not getting everything here.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have questions. Meanwhile, thehill.com. Democrats are slamming former President Biden's response to a series of investigations of him by Republicans. I can hear you laughing over there. Of him by Republicans on Capitol Hill and the Trump administration, arguing he is again taking the GOP bait to the detriment of his own party. At a time when Democrats have sought to go on the offense over President Trump's big, beautiful bill and MAGA world furor over the Jeffrey Epstein controversy, party operatives are scratching their heads at Biden's need to insert himself into the conversation, not to mention his defensive rhetoric. They say Biden is again helping Republicans with his actions, though they say there are ways for him to engage without interfering in the party's strategy. If he's able to go out and be a spokesperson on the issues that matter to him, if he wants to go talk about Medicaid, if he wants to go and talk about that or other pressing issues, I think that makes sense, and that does work. You're lying. No Democrat wants him out there talking on the issues.
No.
Not one.
No.
You know something?
No.
We've always said the victim-oppressor narrative that comes from Democrats, that you're a victim until you become the oppressor. Has Biden now become the oppressor? He was the victim last year.
I think in part, but really more the agitator. You know, he's because, again, like he was then, he's a liability anytime he talks. He's a liability to the party because none of them care about his legacy. They don't care about him. He clearly doesn't care about his own legacy.
They just don't get it here.
It's.
I'm reading this. Listen to this. You have to question a lot of his PR decisions over the last 2 years. The strategist added, arguing Biden and his aides did little to sell his accomplishments in office. What do you mean? They tried to every single day.
Yeah.
They couldn't do it.
Right.
Nobody bought it. They were lying.
Yep.
This is why, if you can't even, the Democrats wonder, because there's another one here. Democrat insider admits to praying for an economic depression as his party's popularity continues to plummet. And so they're going, it's Biden's fault. Biden needs to shut up because we're trying to reform here and we're trying to figure out where we stand. Well, that's the problem. Biden isn't your problem. Biden's not your problem here.
Nope.
Your problem is where you stand on the issues.
Yep. Wow. Well, and that's it. Well, and I think he just makes it worse. You know, that's the thing. Tell me, in what setting does he make it better for Democrats? There isn't one. Tell me in what situation he makes it better for Democrats.
In May interviews on the BBC and The View, Biden shifted the focus away from the party's rebuilding effort. What rebuilding effort?
Rebuild to what? In what direction? Right. Based on what? What are those rebuilding blocks made of? You know, you're going to have to do it based on something. What would that be?
I love this. Democrats need to be on the offensive. We cannot be running a rearguard operation to defend the Biden administration. Well, then don't.
Then don't. Don't. Look, he's free to talk. He still has free speech rights.
Why are the Democrats trying to take away Biden's free speech rights? How dare they take away Biden's free speech rights?
After 20 years, Eric and Gary finally step up and defend Joe Biden.
We are here defending. We're not defending what he stands for.
The man has
now,
rights.
wait a minute. We're not defending what he stands for. We're defending his right to free speech. God, this is fun. This is so much fun.
The witness has rights. You're damn right. I ordered the code red. It is so, seriously. I can't imagine doing anything else for a living. What we said earlier, This is it right here.
Why our anniversary today of 20 years is every day it's so enjoyable here is because you're dealing with insanity and the thing about it is when the material is great, you don't even need to try to be funny anymore because
it's crazy.
The stuff they say is nuts.
Yeah. I mean, it really is a candy store.
And they're like, don't you understand? We're trying to reform. No, you're not.
Reform? And rebuild?
On what issue?
Yeah.
The Democrats, for some godforsaken reason, don't understand that politics, and the No Labels Party could learn from this too, politics is about where you stand on the issues.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Anything else is fluff and BS.
Yep.
Where do you stand on the issues?
Right.
The No Labels Party tried to con you. Well, we're going to be the centrist party. We're going to stand for the people that are sick of the right and the left. And so we're going to stand right in the middle. And what are your positions going to be? Well, we're not ready to tell you what they're going to be yet because we're trying to work together to form a coalition. And to form a coalition of what? And have an infrastructure of a party. How do you build an infrastructure of a party if you don't stand for anything? Well, we're not going to stand for anything right now because if we stand for something, then somebody might disagree with us. Well, that's the chance that you take when you form a political party.
See, we're not going to have labels. Imagine going into the grocery store. We're the No Labels grocery store. Good luck. What's in this can?
Oh, that's coming.
I can't tell you.
Well, that's coming to New York City.
Yeah. And it's still going to be very expensive. Oh, my gosh. Okay, people are going to think we've been drinking during our anniversary show. We haven't been. This is reality. See? You don't need all that other stuff. That's expensive. You get this for free.
Are there any bars open now? We should hit a bar after our 20th anniversary show.
I know.
Do like they did. Remember when Cheers had their final show?
Oh, yeah.
Remember them when they were hanging off that balcony, all drunk as skunks?
Yeah.
Remember that one? 866-90-RED-EYE.
Get in touch with Red Eye Radio, toll free at 866-90-RED-EYE.
It's Red Eye Radio. He is Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. Oh, happy anniversary, Eric. Happy
Yes,
20th.
happy anniversary to you. And just one last note, I quit. No, I'm not going anywhere. Happy anniversary. It's, thanks for a great 20 years.
Yep.
Thanks to a great audience, the greatest radio audience in the world. And thanks to the greatest sponsors and great management and the greatest production staff in the world as well. Thank you.
This is Red Eye Radio on Westwood One.